Hello Internet, I'm Jackie Fox, hello Wotive community. Hopefully this is going to be a quicker video. I just want to talk to you guys about slime, and why, while we still have the Dragon Quest collaboration, you should probably build slime. And this is actually kind of a video for a specific player. Do you want to build for the strike meta in the future? And or do you want to build Skahal for limited in the future? If either of these answers is yes, slime is your boy. Let me explain why. So first of all, just talking about slime in general, master ability / resistance 50 is pretty nuts. You can build him very high on / resistance, and then as we're getting into skills, he doesn't actually get any more of that, unfortunately. Yeah, we're just going to skip his supports, not necessarily relevant. He does have a magic and fire-based counter, which is interesting. I can't think of any matchups this is really good in, but kind of like Queen or Makoto, I think of him as being very similar to a limited version of her, and let me explain why, because he has a lot of the same capabilities, with the addition of being able to deal fire damage for some reason. So if they're brick walling you with lightning resistance, he can deal fire damage and get around that. If they are brick walling your strike team with strike resistance in some godly unknown future, or you just happen to run into a team that, while they may not be strong against strike or very weak to magic, he might zap them, but you're not necessarily going to be getting magic attack up. Although, the Dragon Quest card actually makes a lot of sense for slime on a strike team. He gets a lot of benefit from that, and this really makes him a lot more viable as a strike team unit. I know I just made a video that said that card wasn't a great investment, and it actually does get to be a better strike team investment when you think about limited compositions if you want to run slime. But there is kind of an open question of, like, is it going to be 2024, 2025? When is slime actually going to get a 140? How long is it going to take? Because, again, the record with collaborations isn't great. Now, I think that there's still a place for him in the limited meta, because it is, again, a limited meta, and he may just be the only 20 cost unit. I mean, it's him or Zazan. So he just may fit into your team a lot better, especially if you're running Skahal, or if you're running a strike team. And the reason for the strike team is, first, all job-based VCs apply to slime, so he can benefit from the strike team VCs. His basic attack, it is based in strike damage, so his basic attack benefits from strike VCs. His upgraded body slam, which decreases defense, most strike units are physical, so that's going to benefit anybody, assuming that they don't have some sort of debuff resistance. That's going to benefit the rest of the team, even more so than things like maybe single target resistance, except that single target resistance is harder to mitigate, I believe, unless general debuff resistance does it. Anyways, that is strike damage, so even though that's not a very powerful skill, that's definitely going to encourage him to use it more and break defense more. He will become your defense breaker offensively if he can get up to them. What's his range? Let's go back to range. He has a 3 move, so he does have the problem of getting in range to use body slam, and it is an incredibly close range move. He can zap people at a distance, but what I think is really interesting about him is some of the other stuff that he brings to the table and how he is like an extremely limited cost Makoto. First of all, he has a diamond AoE version of Vitalize, which I think is really awesome. Especially because if you want to, you can stack this speed up bonus with haste if you happen to have a haste unit on your team. Let's say if we're doing limited, like 200 cost limited team here. Velis, Skahal, Slime. And the reason why I think that Skahal specifically works with Slime is that Hustle Dance, when fully upgraded, it's not based on his magic, it's a 70% heal. Skahal needs exactly 70% HP, maybe +1, but he's going to have courage at least, so he will have that +1. What I'm saying is that if Hustle Dance hits Skahal, he is guaranteed into the future proof. This is always going to work. Power creep won't necessarily change this. I'm not sure how it could. This is a match made in heaven for Skahal in Limited. This is also a really powerful heal for the Strike team. For any Strike team. However, I do want to mention that both Etra, Jisa, and Mariluk, who all benefit from the Strike cards, all have an ability called Chakra. And Chakra is going to be a cross-based AoE centered around themselves as a unit. And it is going to, once it is upgraded, which we will have by the time the Strike meta is a thing, we will have upgraded Monk by then. 40% HP for allies, so not necessary. Well, Skahal's not on the Strike team, so irrelevant. 40% is pretty good for all allies. 32% TP, this is pretty unique, at least compared to Hustle Dance. And it gives regen of 10% for 3 turns, so that's another 30% health. So this is effectively a diamond-shaped. I greatly underestimated this. Diamond-shaped but self-centered AoE. This is roughly comparable, but only if you want to run Mariluk, Etra, or Zisa. It is a good argument actually for having Zisa on early Strike teams because she would be one of their first effective healers other than Slime. And Mariluk and Etra make more sense in limited Strike teams as well as a replacement for Slime. But the point that I'm making here is that Slime can get all of that right away, and even though he doesn't have quite the same AoE size on his ability that heals, it is aimable and does have a range of 2. So he can heal within a diamond around himself, but not in a diamond around himself. That doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna cut that. He has a more limited heal, but he can aim it, so it's not that bad. It is objectively worse in terms of range, though. But if you think about it this way, it's getting you the 70% all at once, which is going to be helpful because some units in some matches you won't be able to wait around those 3 turns to get all the benefits from regen. It doesn't offer any TP, but it doesn't offer any TP. Now, the thing that's going to be totally unique for Slime as a unit, and Slime is a 120, and a reason why you should, to reiterate the point of this video, 120 Slime now while you can. His 120 ability, his job level 25 ability is called Zing. It is a 50% chance to revive for 30% HP. It has a little bit limited range, but 50% chance to revive is equal to full life. So it has the same chances as the best recovery, like bring somebody back to life skill, raise skill in the game. It is better than Raise in that respect, and it is additionally better than Raise and Re-Raise in that it's a 30% heal instead of a 20% heal. Obviously, Full Life is a 100% heal. This is not as good as that in that respect, and I think Full Life also has better range, but this is a 20 cost unit. Putting Full Life on him would be kind of ridiculous, but it is worth pointing out because this is also another skill that makes him similar to Zisa, Etra, and Mariluk, because all of them have an even shorter range ability that can revive someone at 50% chances, at least not right now, but again with Monk upgrades coming before this Strike meta is really relevant, it's a 50% chance to revive at 50% HP. Although it is one shorter range. They are both fairly short range, it gets you 20% more HP, but again, this is kind of about, do you want to run Mariluk, Zisa, or Etra? Do you want to build them, or do you just want to build Slime now and have all of these other benefits as well? Because in terms of, like, being a pseudo white mage, Monk actually does that a lot better into the future than Slime does as I'm looking at it. And I hadn't expected that because I'm used to, Monk main jobs not being good, and it's not really an impressive list of characters to compare him to, if I'm being honest, and probably not characters that you want to build into 140, but Honestly, I think this all makes a really good argument for building Slime now if you plan to play in either of those two metas. And since he is a very unique and versatile character and is completely free, I mean, there's no reason that everyone shouldn't get him. But if you don't have the time and you aren't planning to play Strike or Skahal, and again, there's going to be a lot of Threshold units in the future, probably, who also benefit from Hustle Dance and that automatic 70%, so there's reasons for other teams in the future to use him as well, especially with job-based vision cards becoming more the norm, but Strike teams and Skahal teams are definitely going to be the first to benefit from Slime's presence in Limited.